We need some help.
I know. I'm going to cashnetUSA.com. And if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need.
At Goodwill would like to thank you for supporting our mission of providing workforce development services throughout Northwest Ohio. When you shop, donate, and choose our commercial services, you're helping us to transform lives one person at a time, one job at a time.
Welcome back. We left you with this question. When was the first cookbook published in the United States? 1796, 1801, 1826, or 1855? So my guess was going to be that first one, just because it feels like we've been cooking and writing about cooking for forever. So is it 1796, 1801, 1826? Okay, yeah, the late one, definitely not. 1796, 1801, or 1826. And we're down to the earliest two times, and there it is, 1796. 1796, American Cookery by Amelia Simmons is the first known cookbook written and published in America. The 18th century kitchen guide taught Americans how to eat simply but sumptuously, which is perfect for our next segment. All right, this is Author's Note, and I am obsessed. I'm going to hold it up right now with this cookbook right here. It is called Live Simply. Yes, Cook Simply, Live Fully. I get a chance to review a lot of books, and this one is just fully hitting me in the right spot, man. I am loving this book. The food writer and recipe developer Yasmin Fahr has created a cookbook that really speaks to how my family wants to eat and cook. And we're lucky enough today for the Author's Note, delighted to welcome the author Yasmin Fahr. She is live from Spain, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Menorca.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I guess I first want to talk about what spoke to me right away was these recipes are arranged in three categories. And I talk about how you organized what's in this book.
Yeah, so it's set up by the energy you have to cook dinner. So lap dinners are for when you're super tired, you don't want to prep a thing, and everything comes together in like 15, 20 minutes. And you're pretty much going to eat it like in a bowl on your lap. Maybe on the couch. And then there's coffee table dinners, which is more your like average weeknight meal, 30 to 45 minutes, a lot of sheet pan dinners, but nothing too fancy, really simple dishes like this that, are delicious but easy. And then there's at the dinner table, which is when you have a bit more time and you want to make something that might have a little bit more effort, but really nothing more than an hour, hour and a half max. And a lot of that's like downtime in the oven.
I really like that because that is how we live, where some days, and you even write about it, some days you'll go get the ingredients thinking I'm going to have the table dinner. And then by the time you get to that 5 o'clock or whatever, it's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I don't have the energy. Like that's not happening. And it doesn't have to, you can do whatever is best for you, which is also sort of the idea of the book is to cook by what feels right for you and like what's realistic in real life,
Another question that guided your recipe development for this, and I love this question too, because this is where I am in my life. How do I want to feel after I eat? What are the answers when you ask yourself that?
Yeah, so it's like, do I want to feel, nourished? Do I want to feel warm and cozy? Do I want to feel light and bright? And, for me, a lot of that's the weather. Like, is it cold out? Or, what is my mood? And all of that. So I think that's a good way to think about food. And that is how I think about it as well when I'm deciding what to eat. So I hope it's helpful.
It is helpful. And so then the other thing that's really practical, everything in the oven that you're baking is a 400-degree oven. I loved that.
I love that you read the book so thoroughly. I feel like a lot of people don't, and you really thank you.
I loved it.
Questions. Yeah. Yeah, everything is set at 400 degrees, so you can easily, swap things in and out. And there's a whole vegetable cooking chart, which really is meant to help you do that. So you don't have to think on those days when you're tired. You just want the answer, and you just want to mix and match based on what you have.
And another thing you did, I made one of your recipes I'll talk about in just a minute, but another great thing you did is on the side of the book. I am so in love with this. I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? On the side of the book, you have a little bit of a ruler, because like you'll say in the recipe I said, you're going to need 2 inches of raw ginger that you're going to grate. And I'm like, oh yeah, you put your 2 inches right there and you know what you have. Did you think of this?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because I use this magenta ruler in my kitchen when I'm developing. And so I thought, well, that would be much easier for home cooks to also have access to it. So they don't have to, kind of guess or rummage around for a ruler. It's right there on the spine.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful idea. Beautiful. And
Yeah.
then later in the show, I'm going to be in the kitchen, and what I used your suggestion. My husband and I looked through it, and like the suggestion that you gave us to cook was also what stood out right away as we wanted to try. So we made the sheet pan citrus ginger chicken with stone fruits, which is right here on page 61 of the book. I loved this recipe. What I think you've done in all of your recipes in this book is take something that we're somewhat familiar with and add something we wouldn't necessarily think of. In this case, it's stone fruits, and I'm like, what? Talk about how you added fruit to this chicken dish.
Yeah, so I was one of those people who never really loved adding fruit to like savory dishes, but when you bake it, it becomes really soft and sweet. And I think especially when it's summer, like